Ah, The Last of Us Part 2. What a game, what a game. I have done a ridiculous amount of challenges for this game on this channel. Knife only, throwables only, pistol only again because I messed it up the first time, stealth only, the list goes on and on.
I said I played these games before!
And all of those past challenges have been really fun to attempt. However, this will not be fun to attempt. Not at all. Because today, I'm going to attempt my hardest challenge for The Last of Us Part 2 yet. Probably the most difficult and trying challenge I could possibly come up with for this silly little game. Are you ready for it? Can I beat The Last of Us Part 2 on grounded mode, on permadeath, with no upgrades or gun modifications? And I will be playing in the chronological order mode, which I have never played in before, just to add a little bit of extra pain into the mix.
I'll do it, but only for the attention.
I don't think it can possibly get much more challenging than this, while still being, somewhat realistic. This is the toughest challenge I could fathom. This is the big kahuna, people.
Are you crazy?
Okay, actually, we are going to have to scratch the permadeath element from my challenge because, as I quickly learned while trying to start the game, you actually cannot turn on permadeath if you do the game in chronological order. Even after a quick Google search, I learned that you actually can't do permadeath and chronological order mode at the same time. So that's a major bummer. So I guess we'll just have to save my permadeath run for some other time because I've already committed to playing this chronologically. Sorry everybody. I know. But in the spirit of doing a permadeath run, I will add a failure every time that I die. Basically, I'm not allowed to die and I'm going to be playing the game in the mindset of doing it on permadeath. Call this a warm-up run for my actual permadeath run, which I will do at some point in the future. This still isn't going to be easy though. I will be allowed to use all of my weapons and resources. However, I cannot upgrade them or myself in any way. Faster movement while prone? Nope. Lowered recoil on my guns? Don't even think about it. And of course, since I'm playing this in chronological order, my usual resource management tactics are probably going to be a little bit out of whack since the whole game and all of its levels are in totally different orders. But I'm sure nothing could go wrong with that.
Am I crazy?
Wait, not just yet, you eager beaver, okay? Because first, we have to acknowledge someone who just published her 4th book. That's right, it's me. That's right, everybody. I'm back at it again with another book. Will I ever stop? No, I will not. It's called The Girl Who Loved Math, and it's a little children's picture book about the story of Ada Lovelace, the mother of modern computers, don't you know? For anyone who doesn't know, Ada Lovelace was the mother of modern computers and the first ever programmer. And without her, we wouldn't have all of this amazing technology that we use today. I wouldn't be able to make these videos, you wouldn't be able to watch them, and, most importantly, we wouldn't be able to read Am I the A-hole stories on Reddit. So, thank you, Ada. I've been fascinated with Ada Lovelace's story since I was in middle school, and I always really wanted to write a book about her. More than anything, I just want to introduce kids to her life story. As someone who always struggled with math and just using technology in general, I always found Ada's story to be really inspiring, and, it pushed me to keep trying to learn math and just learn new things in general. More than anything, I just want this book to inspire kids, especially young girls, that you should just keep trying with math and science. It can be pretty interesting sometimes, despite being boring most. Follow your passions if that's what you're passionate about, because you could create something really cool. So if any of that piqued your interest and you want to get my book for a kid or someone you know, or just to support me because you happen to like my videos, then you should check out my book. It's available on Amazon. Don't worry, I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll also link it at the end of the video, so you can find it anywhere. And if you want to check out any of my other books, they're available on Amazon too. Just saying. Thank you so much for watching my little ad, and if you didn't watch the ad, I know. I can see you skipping ahead. You think you're slick, and I just want you to know that hurts. It hurts me. Right here. And now I'm gonna go kill a bunch of zombies to make myself feel better. Okay, ad over. Cut the ad. Cut the ad. Our journey begins. Oh, Abby, don't jump scare me like that. Abby, Owen, and Jerry? Gotta love our story starting off with all the absolute worst characters. There surprisingly isn't all that much to talk about for the first hour or so of this game, because there's no combat scenes and it's basically all just cutscenes and slow walking. Slow walking as Abby, then slow walking as Ellie, then back to Abby, then back to Ellie. Just back to back with all of the most boring sections of the game right out the bat. At least we're getting it out of the way early, I suppose.
Is all the story necessary? That's my question.
I really shouldn't be complaining though. This is as easy as this challenge is ever gonna get. And at least I get to enjoy some good old-fashioned Joel time. So, it's not all that bad.
Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him.
The first combat section we get is, in fact, the Tommy sniper section. And that's honestly pretty fitting considering Tommy is my mortal enemy.
I fucking hate you.
The nice thing about starting here is that I can stealth my way through the first round of infected at the hotel, which isn't too bad of a way to start. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the bloater fight that comes right after. My biggest concern with the bloater fight is that you have to let the big fat maniac grab you in order to get through this level. I was very, very paranoid about letting him grab me too soon, but after I ran out of all of my ammo, I eventually just embraced my impending doom and went in to give the guy a big old hug. Joel, what the heck? Human connection is important. I know you're grumpy, but you need to learn to let people in. After I was done watching my life flash right before my eyes, I sat through about 10,000 more hours of non-stop cutscenes with only one question on my mind.
Where is my sandwich?
Made you some sandwiches. What you got there?
Bigot sandwiches.
Smells good.
With the one and only thing I care for in this life, the elusive bigot sandwich, now firmly in my grasp, I watched even more cutscenes and did nothing but push up on my joystick while slowly walking through levels. Just riveting gameplay.
We haven't touched the controller for 45 minutes.
Eventually, I did get to fight some infected as Abby, which went pretty well. The first fight was pretty easy, I just stealthed my way through. The clicker fight took all of 2 seconds, and despite trying to be sneaky in the last area, the game glitched and I kind of had to just fist fight my way through the area. I don't even understand how they caught me. I was being stealthy, I tell ya. Stealthy! After all of that senseless violence, Dee and I traveled through a blizzard to get to the library, in a similar way as your parents might describe the trip they took to get to school back in the day. Always hiking through blizzards, even in September. But it turns out there's a lot more at this library than just books.
Oh my god. It's weed. That's a lot of dead weed.
Hey, look, man, I'm not here to bust anybody. I just want the ganja.
Yeah, ladies, go and do drugs. Reading is for nerds anyway.
Twiddle-Thumb Gaming does not now or ever in the history of the universe condone drug use. Weed is stupid, and so is Ellie for smoking it.
Elsewhere, Abby is running for her life from a bunch of zombies and doing a pretty good job of it since she hasn't ruined her lungs from smoking, unlike some other people we know. Oh, if only Abby was a chain smoker. Then Abby ran into her goal. That's right, it's Joel. Thank you. I truly am a poet for the ages. The fight at the ski lodge was pretty simple, though I will be adding a fail because I did die during my escape and it was a hilariously lame death since I got caught fighting as I was making my escape. Thankfully, we were able to bust our way out of there. Well, thankfully for me. Joel might feel a bit differently about it in a couple of minutes.
These fools don't even see the double cross that's coming. Why would you think I'm gonna double cross you? You can't even trust me for 1 second.
Well, Joel is dead. See you never, pal. Your part in this story is over. And you know what that means. It's time for Ellie to go get some sweet, sweet justice.
Good for her.
But first, we have to watch Joel getting clonked on the head again, but from Abby's perspective. It hasn't even been 30 minutes, guys. Well, sorry, Ellie. It's Abby's time now. Looks like we're seeing things through her perspective.
Why?
So the gang and I head out into the city where I tried really, really hard not to die, the standard experience for any citygoer. And I have to say, I left the WLF base fully stocked up on ammo. But then, when I checked my ammo after breaking into the Home Depot, what did I find? My ammo was cut in half. Did my bullets simply levitate out of Abby's backpack, or is this game just cheating to make things harder for me? Since I had next to no ammo through no fault of my own, I ran through the Home Depot like a loon, narrowly avoiding dying and letting Mel and Manny handle the infected. I tried to sneak through the train yard fight, which was going pretty well until Manny got us spotted by standing right in front of one of the scars, and I guess was just hoping not to get spotted. Terrific plan, Manny. The gas station fight was pretty normal, but I did have to lose a bit of ammo to trigger the WLFs to come to the rescue. Bummer. Sadly, Abby survived to fight another day. But there's no more time to dwell on that because it's Ellie's time now. I basically just ran around the open world section doing all of the things. You know how it is. I wanted to get my shotgun and all the other goodies hiding around the section, so I spent a little bit longer of a time in this area than I usually do. That and I went on my usual adventures running around and beating the crap out of infected in Ellie's endless hunt for gasoline. And then I beat the crap out of the infected outside at the Saravina Hotel. Sucks to be you, losers. Then, just like anyone leaving a hotel would do, Dee and I exploded, I watched my horse get shot in the face, and then got kidnapped. But I guess we're not going to find out what happened to Ellie because the game decided to hop back over to Abby.
No. Really? They're gonna leave us on a cliffhanger?
But that flashback didn't last too long because we just watched a cutscene and then we were immediately back to being Ellie. Man, we're just zigzagging back and forth here, aren't we?
Didn't think I'd ever see you again. You know, the smuggler that we killed out in Jackson?
Yeah.
This girl was there.
What?
They're coming after us.
Now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
The school fight was pretty easy. It was at this point in my playthrough where I kind of really started to get into the groove. I don't know why it had to take me this long to finally start playing the game in a manner that wasn't akin to an 87-year-old woman, but here we are. I ended up going for a very leisurely stroll through town. I really just wanted to make sure that I got everything in the area in terms of supplies, ammo, etc. So I ended up killing all of the enemies in the area. Usually I just like to sneak through this part ungrounded, but I actually had a pretty easy time of it, all things considered. Then I wandered my way past the rest of the infected in town, probably not being as careful as I should be around all of these bombs in the area. I was planning on doing my usual strategy of just leaving trap mines for the WLFs at the TV station, but then I remembered that I was on grounded mode, and I thought it best to save them for later. And I was going to stealth my way through the area, but Dina made sure that that wasn't going to happen for me.
I think I saw someone. I'll see what's up.
Here!
Shit!
Got another trespasser! Over here!
Thanks, Dina. I wanted to try and stealth my way through the first train station fight also, but I got spotted almost immediately and had to flee. I am really not having a good stealth day today, am I?
Me neither.
That's okay, I have. And then I wasted 2 bombs on the Shamblers, which was worth it because those things scare me. And then I wasted way too much ammo in the last infected area because, as I've already said, those things scare me. I know, I'm a chicken. But thankfully I made it out of there with what little dignity I have left, just in time to hear Dina is super preggo.
I think I'm pregnant.
Oh goody, there's nothing a revenge story needs more than a liability.
Get out!
Elsewhere, Abby is proving to be the liability of her own revenge story as she abandons her friends and home to go on the hunt for her deadbeat dad, ex-boyfriend Owen. And this might just be me, but I feel like Owen really isn't worth all this effort. I decided to sneak my way through the first 2 Scar fights because I'm kind of in a hurry here. I just want to get back to Ellie. Did I miss out on goodies? Yes, but I can accept that. But just as Abby was nearly home free, she was instantly taken out.
But man, you can't deny that view.
But fret not, children, because these children came in to save my life. I mean, who can blame them? I am pretty cool.
So cool.
The fight in the forest was also a bit concerning for me, since stalkers are arguably the most annoying enemies in the game, but as long as I dodged and weaved like a kung fu master, I was pretty much okay. And the same principle applied for the big lady at the auto shop. Now, this is the part of the game I was a bit worried about for one reason and one reason only: the clickers. Since I can't craft upgrades, Abby doesn't get any shivs, and without shivs, Abby can't do anything if she gets grabbed by a clicker. That is bad, at least for my purposes. I ended up using basically all of my supplies to get out of the area. It was very stressful, and I almost died a lot. And now that I have freed myself from the clutches of the hungry restaurant patrons, I dumped the kids off in the middle of nowhere because, frankly, I have had a long day and would really like to go home. With that in mind, I sprinted past the infected by the shipping crates and narrowly made it out of the boat with my life. I tell you what, this part took so long with me trying to quietly maneuver my way out of there. And now, Abby has finally found Owen, and the two can finally live out their dream and be the cheating skanks that we always knew they were inside.
I'm not gonna be a whore, Frank.
You already a whore.
But Abby turns out to not be a total monster and decides to go back to save the random children she abandoned in the middle of the night.
I don't like you, but I respect the effort.
Thankfully, that fight took all of 2 seconds. Was I sneaky? No. Was I graceful? No. But did I get hurt? No! That's right, despite me being shot at and attacked with massive hammers, I managed to kill everyone in the area and get out of there unscathed. Look at me go! With the children procured, we are back to Ellie, who has her own little adventures to go on in Hillcrest. I ended up going total psycho killer mode on the first batch of WLFs because I just really wanted to loot the area for goodies. Shock of all shocks, there was next to nothing. Then I just ran past all of the infected, shot the stalker in the garage in the face because I just could not be bothered to have a sparring match with him, and I made my way outside to fight more WLFs. I would say that the biggest problem with this challenge overall is that since my prone movement is so much slower than I usually like to have it, it makes getting through many parts of this game a lot harder for me since I kind of have trained my brain to time things based off of the fast prone movement. Overall, getting through this game ended up being much slower than normal because timing the enemy's pattern movement ended up being very difficult.
Well, this might take a little longer than I thought.
After I met up with Jesse, he and I killed everyone in the general vicinity and made our break for it, right into the lake. Well, as they say, any parking job you can swim away from is a very bad parking job. Meanwhile, Abby, who doesn't have too much luck with her friends driving her places either, headed out onto the town with Lev to go get some medical supplies for Yara. Because I'm a total weenie, I just booked it through the infected fight. I took care of the scars in the first encounter in record time. It literally took me 30 seconds to kill them all. Then I snuffed through the fight on the roof and got a lot of use out of my crossbow. That might have have been the most I've used any weapon so far in this playthrough. Then Lev and I made our way across the Bridge of Doom and Despair, which earned its name after Abby fell off of it like a total klutz. I tried to fight my way through the stalkers, but that ended up being a massive mistake as I got really hurt and wasted a ton of supplies. I ended up going through a lot more ammo than I would have liked to while making my way down the building, but thankfully I was able to make it through. Well, almost make it through. On my way down, I accidentally fell to my death. What a klutz. I swear, the only times I've died so far is just me being an idiot. I'm actually pretty happy that I'm not playing this on permadeath, come to think of it. But now that we have escaped that nightmare, Abby finally made it to the hospital and was instantly rewarded by being arrested on the spot, as she deserves. After Nora immediately let me out because apparently no one at the WLFs has any respect for authority, I headed downstairs to go fight some clickers. I was planning on doing my usual tactic and just running past all of the clickers, but I was feeling a bit adventurous and wanted to see if there was any extra loot in the area that I could use for the Rat King fight. Because at that moment, I was not feeling super happy with what I had. And I actually did end up finding some useful stuff, so I'd say it was worth it. And now I have found the medical supplies for Yara and everything is gonna be a-okay.
What was that?
Ah yes, the dreaded Rat King fight. Rat King fight was actually simple enough, though I did go through basically all of my ammo in the process killing that thing. The mini Rat King fight wasn't much better. I came out of that hospital with next to no ammo. Great. Just great. I'm just glad I'm done with that terror. Speaking of terror, it's Ellie's turn to face the infected. And best part of all, we're dealing with the stalkers. Oh goody. The worst enemy types. It was at this point in my challenge when I realized that I was being way too critical of all the long cutscenes and drawn out walking sections at the beginning of the game. What was I thinking? That was the peaceful time. That was the safe time. And that was the time that has long since passed. The first Scar fight was going well until one of the enemies glitched out on me and I had to duck and cover. Up until then, I was doing pretty good though. The second Scar fight was pretty easy. I used a lot of resources, but I don't know. I wanted to. Part of the fun of this game is getting to use your ammo, and gosh darn it, I wanted to. I'll probably live to regret it later, but whatever, I was having fun. And that's basically how I handled the fight at the hospital as well. I am totally not going to be prepared for the bloater fight at this rate, but what can I say? I was just living on the wild side in this run. Well, at least we found Nora.
Yeah, that little bitch got what he deserved.
Are you sure?
Since Nora has no respect for the dead and is just kind of a boring character generally, I did what any angsty teen would do and hunted her down for sport. Sorry, Nora, it's like ABBA always said, winner takes it all. Elsewhere, Yara was getting surgery, unlike Nora, who was getting bludgeoned.
Now, this is surgery, so don't eat anything before you come in, because I'll have a big breakfast waiting for you.
But outside of all of the physical damage, we also have emotional damage too. That's how you know this game is really deep. Unfortunately for Abby, Mel was starting to pick up on it.
Isaac's top Scar killer suddenly had a change of heart. Nothing to do with Owen, right?
I knew you two were in this together!
I haven't always done the right thing.
You're a piece of shit, Abby.
Great. Now Mel's angry too. Even Lev is running away. What's going on here? Everybody needs to get a grip now. All of your weird emotions and adultery scandals are driving this team apart. Speaking of being driven apart, Yara and I had to split up when we heard Tommy starting a ruckus down by the port. Who does Tommy think he is starting a ruckus like that? Does he think he's Seth or something? Last time I checked, Tommy, you never once made me a bigot sandwich. Tommy didn't take too kindly to that, however, and thusly created even more of a ruckus. Tommy. For shame. While Tommy was off, busy being awesome and doing all of the work, Ellie and Jesse embarked on their own side quest. I decided to go with the ultra-aggressive route for the first batch of scars. Honestly, I've just been stealthing it for too long. This was way more fun, but the fun quickly came to an end because I wanted to save supplies for later, so I just snuck through the second WLF fight. I know, what a hypocrite. At least I look cool while doing it though. However, since I'm so awesome at this game, Jesse naturally became jealous and walked out on me. Some people just can't handle a strong, independent woman who likes to shoot dogs in the face occasionally. I did make up for my lack of a killing spree against the last WLF troop by completely annihilating the enemies at the mall. I was actually being kind of a sneaky legend too, until I got caught, but most of them were dead by that point, so I'd say I did a pretty good job. I rode right by the last human encounter because I had no intention of putting my life on the line for a bunch of people who I don't even know. Maybe Show Ellie will do that, but not me.
No thanks, I choose life.
Of course, I did make a quick stop to grab some extra ammo before the bloater fight. You can never be too prepared, as I always say. The bloater fight ended up actually being very simple. I was able to take him down relatively quickly once I was done throwing everything I had at the guy. I don't know why I freak out so much about fighting that thing. It's really not that hard to beat if you save your supplies. Thankfully, the nightmare is over. I have beaten the bloater and completed day 3. The nightmare has passed. The terror has ended. everything is gonna be okay. Oh right, I ended up wasting so much of my ammo during the first Scar fight. This is the last section of the game where Abby gets all of her weapons, so I figured why not use them. I might have used them a bit too much though. I do have a few more sections I have to get through on this island. In an effort to save supplies for the upcoming fights, I just snuck through the second Scar fight and had a few close calls along the way, but thanks to my amazing skills, I was not spotted. After we were done making our way through those fools, Yara and I went to find Lev. Oh my gosh. Look at all those fish on the fire.
Someone cooked here.
Ooh, we are eating good tonight. Then we walked right into a trap. Yara died, and I successfully made myself an enemy of both the Scars and the WLFs. Great, now everyone hates me. Just like I always wanted. Abby proved how little she cared for her friends and comrades by killing all of them with little to no hesitation. Not even one moment of contemplation went through Abby's mind while she sliced these people open. I did kill a bunch of enemies at the restaurant, but they really weren't my priority, so I mostly just ran past them. So Lev and I rode our way out of all that fire and death and ran right into, you guessed it, more fire and death.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Amazing plan, Abby. Now we're blocked in on this island from all angles. Way to go. Then I decided to use every weapon I had, shoot every bullet I saved, and murder everyone in the last encounter. Why not? I had the supplies and lack of morals. And of course, the last fight against Mr. Hammer and Sickle was no problemo. Outside of getting a little strangled, but hey, that's nothing a good night of sleep won't fix. So Lev and I went straight home to hop into bed. Okay, change of plans, Lev. It's vengeance time.
I will hunt you down wherever you're hiding, and I will eliminate you. I am justice.
The fight with Ellie went the same way it usually does. Violently. Since Ellie completely dropped the ball on killing Abby, she decided to give it another go. Well, you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
I have to finish it.
I'm not gonna do this again.
You should never let things go!
I took out all of the infected in my last fight with them. Was it a waste of supplies? Yes. Yes, it was, and I'm sure I will come to regret that later. But the first Rattler fight went well. I was able to sneak out of there with little issues, and no one found the trail of bodies I left behind. Not too shabby. The rest of the Rattlers were a piece of cake. I used the infected to my advantage, and didn't make a total fool of myself while doing it, which is a nice change of pace considering how I usually do during this level. Overall, I was killing it on the last Rattler section. I even hung around to just watch them all fight each other to the death. Abby can wait a little while longer. I want to watch the chaos that I have caused. What fun! But at long last, we have found Abby.
Look at you now, boy!
And the last fight of the game was stupid easy, at least compared to every other nightmare the game has thrown at me. Overall, I would say that in terms of storytelling, I think that chronological order mode is definitely better structure. It doesn't fix all of the many valid and somewhat petty problems I have with the game, but I definitely prefer this version. At the very least, it's a nice change of pace. I still don't like the story though, but I was able to do it. It actually wasn't too bad playing this game with no upgrades, believe it or not. I almost didn't even notice most of the time while I was playing. And just for a little bit of extra proof, you can see that I did in fact make it through the whole game with nary a pill ingested nor a gun modified. Not that I thought any of you wouldn't believe me, I just kind of like to show off now and then. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, because I tell you what, I certainly didn't. That's actually not true. I had a pretty good time doing this. I think I played this game too much. I'm getting too good at it. Grounded mode isn't hard enough for me anymore. It's too easy. I gotta up the stakes, but how? But anyway, Merry Christmas everybody. Best wishes to all of you, and check out my book if you're interested. See you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.